I've never truly appreciated how difficult bouldering could be. I've always assumed from a very general understanding of rock climbing that this discipline basically favors very lightweight athletes that have abnormal finger strength. That was kind of what I assumed, but it's like once I actually put myself to these problems, actually attempted bouldering myself, that I realized that this is a whole new field that demands insane specific strength. And to be honest, even its transfer to like general pull strength is very, very strong. Like you see these athletes pulling, abnormal amounts of weight with ratio to their body weight. There's people that are like 60 kilos pulling 80-kilo weighted pull ups. That's insane. And it surprises me that with so little supplementary exercises, I guess. Well, I'm not, to be honest, I'm not too well versed in what training is like for bouldering, but I would assume that the bulk of their training comes from just practicing what is required. So just doing more problems, and it's insane to realize that like this discipline, you can just get so strong from bouldering. Your back strength, your arms, your pulling strength just boosts up insanely. And this is only focusing on like the raw strength of this discipline. When you consider technique and balance as well, how you maneuver yourself with these like very awkward positions, it's a whole new like exercise. It's so insane to see athletes this in this place that just elegantly move around these places. And I was just doing some of these problems that I showed. I think there's a few. I think there's like four failed attempts in some of these problems, and every single one of those attempts, there was some people that just go in there and they're just constantly holding onto the wall. They're constantly holding onto the wall. That is one. I think that's one trend that I found with very, I guess, very new athletes. So for me personally, I'm very new to rock climbing, and I tend to find that I'm always off contact with the wall. Either I'm holding on with just two arms, or one other like limb is off the ground, off the wall. So it just kind of screws off my balance, and I need to focus a lot more on just brute strength. But these other athletes, which I would just from like looking at them, I would assume that they aren't as strong in terms of like raw strength. They're able to just hold on so effortlessly, and yeah, it's just truly interesting to find that with every single problem, there's a different way to approach it as well. I was trying to do this one of these, I think it was this problem right here, and I just kept doing the same thing over and over again. But some other dude just came in. He actually used the I think it's the green platform right above the purple thing that I'm holding right there, that I just held right there with my right arm. But he used that to push himself up, and I guess that's what you call the beta breaker in this problem. Now, obviously, this is a very easy problem, so it's kind of pretentious to use that kind of term for this case. But to me, that's what it felt like. I was like, whoa, I could not realize that there are some steps that you can use more, or there are some steps that you can just completely neglect and skip because you don't really need to use it. And another thing I wanted to mention is there's a very unusual balance to these athletes. Either you can have your strengths in your how tall you are, how long your arms can be, and how far you can reach. That is one way to look at bouldering and how effective it can be to you in terms of like predisposed genetic features. But another thing is, if you're taller, you tend to be you have a lot less room to work with. You're also a much larger frame, and you probably weigh more. So obviously, it's going to be much harder for you to move around these problems. So in this case, it would probably favor smaller athletes as well. People that are shorter, much more strong with their body weight, and can handle excessive, like very awkward positions that like really test your flexibility. Another thing I wanted to talk about was how with these routes, I guess there's a static way of looking at it and a dynamic way of approaching. Keep in mind, I'm very new to this, so I'll probably be throwing around like terms that I have no clue about. But I think I tend to prefer a dynamic way of looking about these problems, mainly because I lack the specific static strength and the skill of putting myself in positions that I'm not used to. I'm not used to using my legs and my arms together in these certain movements. I'm only used to like calisthenics that purely isolates your arms, your delts or something, or like your back, rather than using your legs alongside something. And that was a whole new experience that I'm really enjoying. So hopefully I might work around with bouldering a bit more, and we'll see how the future goes. That's basically it, and I'll finish off here.